Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Right, the beer we are looking at now. We're finally clearing out all the Oktoberfest beers from the little box. There's only one beer now that's going to come. The plan is to do a live on Friday with Liam Goodliff, who now has a new channel. We'll do a lot of that promoting of his channel on Friday night, I think. But yeah, apart from that sort of Oktoberfest beer, I've got one keg to come up from the Perfect Draft. Other than that machine there and the other one over there, which is 5 litre mini keg thing, there's nothing coming up. So a lot of it's Trembling Madness stuff coming up. So yeah, and one of them is now. And I'm kind of lost words. I'm kind of losing the will to live, really. So yeah, the beer we got, like I say, I was going to pause it. I was going to cancel it then. But no, we're going to stick with it. The beer we got, like I say, it's from Trembling Madness. It's about the fifth beer I've ever had from this brewery. And it's from Pressure Drop Brewing, or Pressure Drop Brewing Co. They're out of London. The beers I've had from them have been fantastic so far. And the only reason, I say the only reason, there's about 3 reasons I ordered this beer. One, ultimately, it's got cats on the can. Now, I'm a big cat lover. The second reason was the beer is named after the cats, if you like. Now, one of the cats' names, exactly the same as one of the cats I've got. And the third reason is Pressure Drop are fantastic. So, cats, matching cats' names, and the brewery is the reason I picked this up, and the brewery's reputation. So like I say, picked up from Trembling Madness. This beer was £4.50, so before we get going, you might be going, £4.50. From my experience, this is probably going to be well worth the money. Pressure Drop Brewing Co. out of London, and this is a can of their Astrid and Sami Cali IPA. Now, 2 cats on there. Unfortunately, I lost one of my cats before I went on holiday. So we are now left with 2 cats. Now, to be fair, the colour of the cats make no odds. That one, that's called Astrid, I would probably more resemble to our cat called Coco, because she's kind of black, white with ginger on. Okay? But Sammy is that one. There we go. Sammy, that is that one, is pretty much 99.9% ginger. And for anyone that doesn't know, or probably couldn't give a shit, it's very rare to get an all ginger cat. We've literally, our Sammy's got a tip on its tail that is maybe, well, it is white. So yeah, and that's the only reason I bought it. So there we go. Pressure Drop Brewing, Sami and Astrid Cali IPA, 6.5%, 440ml can, £4.50. Lovely artwork. The brewery are great. Shut the hell up, Baz. We're 3.5 minutes in. Now, I don't have a pressure drop glass, so we're going to bang it in the old all the beer, no idea thing. Barry's beers. So let's get it cracked open and see what we get. Come out the fridge about... The way this review's gone before actually this actual video, I made so many fuck ups. This can's probably been out of the fridge for about an hour now. So yeah, I've given up the ghost on trying to do a perfect review. Ain't going to happen. So there we go. There's all the beer. No idea. No. All the beer in the glass. We've got a few bubbles this side. And it's got to be said, the only sort of Cali IPA, Pale Ale, whatever, if you like, that I've ever had is Tiny Rebels. And that looks very sort of similar. Looks very similar. And you may well say, well, hang on, Tiny Rebel, they've kind of lost the plot. Yeah, it's going back a few years ago when I had the Cali Pale. But if Pressure Drop are doing this, and it's looking the same. Tiny Rebel must have done something right. So beer in a glass, it's a slightly hazy beer. There's lots of sediment in there. It's amber looking, not a massive head. We're looking at a very sort of small finger of white head. I'm not seeing any bubbles go up. It's not nucleated glass. So let's give her a sniff. Hoppy, malty, piney. It's real mellow. It's not massively kind of fruity. It's more of a malt based IPA with a big piney kind of feel to it. But it does smell nice. You get a little hoppy sort of note in there, a little bit of bitterness. It smells lovely. It smells lovely. So I'll try not to talk too much more. Pressure drop, Astrid and Sami Cali IPA, Pale Ale, whatever. 6.5%, £4.50. Let's dive in, see what we get. Cheers. That's lovely. That's a lovely beer. And do you know what? It is different to the Tiny Rebel one, the Cali Pale Ale. But when I taste this, and it's been a long time since I've done the Cali Pale Ale, when I taste this, it's a reminder of what the Tiny Rebel beer was. And there's not a million miles between them. For me, this one, more malty, more piney, less tropical. From what I can remember, just off the top of my head, I think that Tiny Rebel one was a little bit more tropical. The fruity notes are in here, but they are very much background kind of fruity notes. They're not something that you get on the front and it lingers. They're kind of a fruity note that is just there in the background. So they're almost unnoticeable, but they're kind of there, if that makes any sense. The body on this beer is light. Now, you know, I'm not going to say I know anything about California Pale Ales or IPAs. That may be a trait of this style. It feels kind of quite light. There's no wishy-washy kind of... Well, I say there's no wishy-washiness. There is almost... No, there's not. Once you swirl that up. There's not a wishy-washiness, but there is definitely quite a light feel about this beer. It's got plenty of flavour. Carbonation is minimal. It's pretty... It's pretty smooth. It's pretty soft. The mouthfeel is quite nice because it's not overcarbonated. Yeah, like I say, the body, it's not a bad body, but it is kind of light. When you drink it, it's funny because it's a big ABV to a certain extent in beer. 6.5% is quite a big beer, but it drinks very easy, very light, very casual. The flavours in the beer are very light, very casual, very sort of easy going. And it all kind of suits, if I'm honest. It all kind of suits. Lots of flavour, but not bombarding you. carbonation there, but not bombarding you. The body is there, but also light without being wishy-washy. And it all kind of works together. It's the sort of beer you might look at, certainly, I'll look at it from my point of view. I looked at it and I thought, oh, but maybe that's down to my naivety and maybe lack of knowledge of what a Cali IPA is, or Cali Pale Ale. But again, like I say, it's like the Tiny Rebel Cali Pale. Very nice, very drinkable. Overpriced, £4.50. I don't know, how do you want to look at it? It's hard to say. But what it is very decent beer. 6.5%. It doesn't really disappoint. It really doesn't. When you kind of think, hang on, actually this beer might actually have to be like this. It's a very decent beer. So yeah, I'm not going to say it's a bad beer. I'm not going to say I've been ripped off. Well, I've been ripped off because look, there's no more beer left in there. There's no more beer left in there. But no, that is a very decent beer. £4.50, like I say. Are you going to get 3/4 of a pint, 440ml in a pub of a 6.5% beer that is very, very decent? Are you going to get that for £4.50? Probably not, are you? So for me, yeah, a decent beer, worth the money. Yeah, I'd quite happily pay £4.50 for a glass of beer that size in a pub, because I think I'd be spoiled, really. I'd be spoiled. So yeah, decent beer for me. Astrid and Sami Cali IPA from Pressure Drop gets the thumbs up from me. If you've had the beer before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. I've waffled on for 12 minutes. I do apologise. It's probably one of the worst beer reviews I've ever done, but bollocks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on my next one. Cheers.